Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist on a Wednesday. The place to be if you want to see four people talk about video games and also ponder their own mortality. More so than usual this week, as inspired by Dying Light 2 coming to PS4 and PS5 on the 4th of February, we're thinking about what fatal mistake we'd make in a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, you heard that right. People might normally discuss their in-depth survival plans they've carefully crafted to endure a life in the wake of an undead outbreak, but we're realists. We know our flaws. Hell, I mean, you've been personal audience to them when we're in live streams. First up facing the horde then, it's Dave.
Well, if there's one thing I love to think about, it's my own mortality, and this is much more my take on all things horror, really. Not how would you survive a zombie apocalypse, although I think that this is, I might take away some learnings from what I'm about to say, but how would you die in a zombie apocalypse? And I'm pretty sure I know exactly what would let me down, and it's trusting other people. That's what would get me. I would 100%, you want to be like, hey, I'm going out alone.
Is that you in a zombie apocalypse?
That's me. That's just me day to day. But in a zombie apocalypse, I know the real way to survive is to go out by yourself. Don't trust anybody. Have a plan and stick to it. Take no prisoners. Food for me. Weapons for me, shelter for me, screw everybody else. But in reality, I'd be like, does anyone have a plan? Can I be part of it? Can I come with you? Where are we going? I'll just do what I could do the cleaning. I can just I can just do menial tasks. I just want to be with you. I'll follow you around. Can I follow you around? And I would either be like a low-level sort of gang member, like an awful one from like Mad Max, I'd
leash.
I'd be on a leash, yeah, and just like covered in spikes and things, and I'd get kicked about, and I'd have to eat out of a dog food bowl.
Oh my God. Wait, this is the gangs at the end of the world film with like. Oh, okay, if you guys don't know that.
What, the comedy film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the end, that's it.
This is the end, yeah, exactly. I'd either be like one of those, or if I was in a gang, or otherwise I'd just be like absolutely double-crossed by someone. Like, I'd probably have managed to get myself a nice shelter, and I'd meet somebody, and they'd be like, oh, can you help me? And I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, come and see my shelter. And then they'd block me out, and they'd feed me to the zombies. It's definitely 100% what would happen every time. I would put my trust in other people, and I would let them walk all over me until the zombies ate my flesh and brains. That's what would happen.
I like how it's flesh and brains.
Nothing's left of Dave.
Disagree if you can.
No, I can't disagree, Dave. I don't think.
Brilliant. Yeah, you are a pushover.
This is going to sound really mean now, but my take on how you die in a zombie apocalypse would be you just simply would not leave the room that you would be in, and you'd starve to death.
I think you've got him there. He'd be so indecisive about what he should do. They'd be in the room. He was
all right, God, this is
zombie apocalypse took
getting
over.
A bit seen here.
So shall I?
He'll be sitting on the chair, like, oh, how do I want to sit on this chair in this apocalypse in my single room?
That's very specific.
Do I want to look out the window?
Us filming, Rosie, but I like it anyway. How does one look in a zombie apocalypse?
I think you are right there, Dave.
Casual.
You're definitely right in that. I think to survive, you have to have the ability to be cold and mean.
Yeah, and that's why
I don't think you have that in you, Dave. Unfortunately,
Rob would be walking all over me, and I'd be a spike-wearing, dog bowl-eating member of his gang.
Sit. And now you may eat.
I hate that this dynamic's already set up. I hate that you guys are like.
You think I like it? You think I like it?
Yeah, playing along, Dave.
So I reckon if there was a zombie apocalypse and I died, I think it would be because just in a weird way, like just bad luck, as in I reckon I could take out a couple of zombies by myself, but I think I'm going to get in a situation where either I'm outnumbered, like, you know, they've just a gang of zombies and I'm just up against a wall and I've only got, like, you know, a couple of methods of defense, which isn't enough, and then I'm just like, well, that's it. Or, like, you know, there's a big evil mutated zombie and I look at them and I'm just like, oh boy, I can't fight that old brute, and then it just goes whop, and then I'm just like, whammed me against the wall again. Like I just get thrown against the walls apparently in zombie apocalypse. But I just like there's so many. Because I was thinking, at first I was going for the angle that you had, Dave, as well. I was like, I think I'd just be too much like, I want to help where I can, and then like, it will come around and bite me in the butt by a zombie eventually.
Literally.
But, yeah.
Just to get this straight, Rosie would die in a zombie apocalypse by having her butt chomped on by a zombie.
I would die in a zombie apocalypse by being like outnumbered or being up against a very strong foe, and I'm like, either I'm with a party and then we're all like just outnumbered and none of us can face it. Because I was thinking about it, and I don't know why, I was just reminded of one moment where I was doing like a hiking event type of thing for school, when they give you a map and then they monitor you, but you've got to navigate yourself. And I just
were you on Battle Royale?
It was Duke of Edinburgh, yeah. It was Duke of Edinburgh. And when we were doing Duke of Edinburgh, there was just a moment where there was a single cow, and I think the cow was a bit raunchy that day. But I'm just saying, it was us and this really strong cow.
So is it a zombie cow that's going to take you out?
Well, no, not a zombie cow, but like I'm saying, it's me and a couple of others, let's say, and then like a really strong foe. I mean, we avoided the cow, so maybe we'd avoid the big, strong zombie. But I just knowing my luck, I just reckon I'm going to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and then, or like, let's say we're going preparing food for the squad or whatever, and suddenly the forest is just like, oh, it's zombie festival day, and you've picked the wrong time and the wrong place to be at. You rapscallions.
So Rosie, let me get this straight. The way you would die in a zombie apocalypse is that eventually you get killed by zombies.
No, by an overpowering zombie. As in, like, I think I could handle with, like,
Surely if you're getting overpowered by a zombie, it is an overpowering... to let you know. If a zombie kills me, it's not because I've gone, oh, come on then. Go on, you little scamp.
Come into my single room.
It's because I've been
I'm doing the cleaning.
Rosie, I feel like your version of this is the way I would die in a zombie apocalypse is simply bad luck. I would not die in a zombie apocalypse unless something terrible happened by accident.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up as well. This bad luck thing that I keep hearing.
I think I can hold my own, I think, in like, a zombie apocalypse against some zombies. I'm just like, an overwhelming amount of zombies. Like, when you have it.
How many zombies are going to finish you off?
Well, when, let's just say it's just me. I went to the shop, I come out of the shop, and then suddenly there's a whole...
How many?
Is the shop open in the apocalypse?
1,000.
Yeah, is it being
it's
run
not
by
open.
1,000?
Or like
so
1,000.
500 zombies you reckon you could do?
Oh yeah, 500 fine, Rob,
500.
please.
You were just like, how many?
But 1,000. 1,000, fair enough, zombies. You've got it this time. Well done. What, do you get through 999 of them? And then the last one's like, haha.
It's just she's tired, but after 999, she's tired.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, no, I'm done now. Well, I was just like, when you think of an overwhelming, I mean, it could also be 500. I was just thinking, like, rivers.
Not for Rosie,
rivers.
though.
No,
it could be
for
500 for another mortal,
yeah,
not
for
Rosie.
someone who's
I've got
not
to
as
say,
experienced.
if there was a zombie apocalypse, I would want to be on Rosie's team, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not sure. She says bad luck, and I think that luck is loser talk. In a survival situation, you've got to make your own luck, Rosie.
Well, no, it is, but like, let's say, sometimes even in a zombie apocalypse, like, you can be walking around and you're surviving and whatnot, and then suddenly a bit of glass breaks in a building because it's really old and the glass has dropped on the floor. It's something that you couldn't have prevented. And then that single bit of glass falling on the floor, zombies are like, and then they all start running over. And then you're like, oh god, thousands of zombies heading my way. Gotta run, and then you're in a dead end, and then you're like, well, great, we're at a dead end. There's thousands of zombies here. I'll fight, I'll give it my all, but this is probably my death. I'm sacrificing myself.
Rosie, don't take this shtick from a man on a leash. That's all I'm going to say to you. Like.
Oh, yeah, you can speak to my boss if you've got a problem. Rob! Protect me.
But yeah, that's how I think I would be. I'd go in a zombie apocalypse by being outnumbered, and I would just sacrifice myself, even if it means that the rest of the party can survive. And let's say and I'm like, hey, you guys are much better than I am, I will sacrifice myself for these zombies. It'll be terrifying, but I think,
What, so now you're throwing in. Now you're throwing
No,
in.
I'm
you would save everyone's
you would
life.
sacrifice
You'd
yourself.
sacrifice yourself.
That's how you would die. By
You're throwing that in as
sacrificing
well.
No,
yourself
I
to
would
save
die
others.
by being overwhelmed by either an incredibly strong zombie or by a river of zombies. Like, lots of zombies.
It's either 1 or 1,000.
Yeah.
No in between.
Yeah, but
But,
it's one with the strength of 1,000.
And
Yeah,
it would
well,
only
it's-
beat me because I'd be sacrificing myself for the others. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would have kicked its ass.
Very specific. That's very specific. Well, I hope it.
I
never
like it,
happens.
Rosie. I like it.
I mean, do you agree?
I agree. I do actually agree.
Oh, thanks, Rob.
Yeah.
I don't think I've conveyed quite what I mean. But I'm going to
It'd be
die.
like, we'd
So
be
many
in the same team.
choices.
We'd be in the same team, and it would be that scene. It's like, Rob, you have to go. I'll sacrifice myself, and I'd be just like, okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Rob, take care of Dave.
Thanks, Rosie.
Dave's on all fours.
Dave,
running.
come here. Heal, David. Let's go.
So the way I would die in a zombie apocalypse, and the fatal mistake I would make, I think we have seen many times on this channel already in the way that I play games, would
Yes.
be, I'd be strapped up with knives, with katanas, with swords, any other sort of type of blade, and I would run into the middle of the horde and take down 999 of them.
You'd be wailing, for
Yeah.
sure.
I would absolutely be in there chopping up zombies left, right, and centre, and it would be the death of me because I'd get too much. I'd get too in there. I believe in myself. I think I'd take down quite a few, and everyone would be impressed and gasp and go, "Wow, she can really do this." And I'd be like the brute on the team. I'd be running in, stabbing people. But then there'd be like one room of overwhelming zombies that you'd get to, which would absolutely be the "Please don't go in, Ash," and I'd go, "Ha! I can take them!" and be overwhelmed very, very quickly, bitten on the brain, on the flesh, on the ass. Like it would be, it would be awful.
I agree. Like I can see the scene now, and it's the kind of scene you see many times. The badass goes in, and you can tell by just how it's framed,
Yeah.
and by the music, and by the relentless hordes, and you would know as well. But you'd be like, I don't care.
Exactly.
Keep going.
I think
And-
I'd still be being bitten whilst I was fighting as well. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I can take it. It's just a flesh wound, and
Like
then
Boromir.
They're still
You'd be
still
like
holding
Boromir.
onto your arm.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
"Ah."
If not that, then it'd be another stupid way. By like, if they were like sound based, it'd be by eating loads of crisps. I'm absolutely certain of it. Like,
What a contrast.
it's going to be something completely stupid where I'm just on my own, like, oh, now's a safe time to have a crisp, and then a zombie would come out, or it would be.
Please
or
say
it'd be
your
jumping in
favourite
the middle.
crisps are like Monster Munch, the noisiest crisps.
Yeah, undead munch. That's what they are.
Oh, it's making my mouth water. I just love crisps. Sorry.
And zombie flesh. But yeah, and if that happened, if I got this is another story that I'm spinning. But if that happened and I got bitten on my own in one of these places, where I'd be either killed or overtaken or just bit by a zombie, I'd 100% be a bite hider, like 100% in a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, I'd come back and be like, oh, it's fine, just eating some crisps in the abandoned shop, and absolutely then just turn in the middle of everyone and be like, oh, sorry, guess I
Oh my god.
thought I was immune.
Yeah, I'd definitely be the same.
Those are my three options. Like, I'd just be like, I want to die with my friends. Like,
Die with me. Well, you're not coming in my team if that's the attitude you're gonna take.
but I'm such a good fighter, Rosie.
You are
I'm
a good
such
fighter, but if you go out on your own, I'm gonna be like, can someone supervise Ash to make sure she doesn't get bitten and then start sabotaging the entire camp?
That's what it is in everyday life as well. Can someone watch Ash, please?
Yeah, she's sabotaging again.
Out on lunch break, can someone watch Ash? Yeah, but no, those would be my choices. I don't know if you guys have any other methods you've considered for my death, but those would be
I was going to say wailing. You go in wailing.
wailing.
You die in a zombie apocalypse the same way you die in Bloodborne. By foolishly wailing.
I die the way I live.
Yes. Okay, so the way that I think I would die in a zombie apocalypse, the fatal mistake that I would make, I think it would be the exact opposite of what Dave said, whereby I would immediately look to isolate myself in the event of an actual zombie apocalypse, I would look to hold up at home. I live in quite a remote rural area, so I would think, okay, no zombies are going to come out there. And I think that kind of strategy would see me through perhaps like the first, the initial mad outbreak where everyone's scattered. I think I'd be okay for that bit, assuming I managed to get home. There's like a motorway service station quite near to my house as well, so I do supply runs there. And I would just, arm myself and stay in my house and not go anywhere. I don't live in a town, so it's not like loads of zombies are going to be coming out to where I live. So if any do come out, there'll be like a little straggler and I can just, kill them. I think what would do me would be like when you get to that stage of the apocalypse where you have like established bands of survivors who have organised themselves into,
Dave and the Leash
a
Boys.
good Dave and the Leash Boys, exactly. I'd be there. See, the problem with me is I have absolutely no useful skills whatsoever when it comes to
Yes, you do, Rob.
I've been saying that for years.
In an apocalyptic situation.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
sorry,
think
no, that's what I
the
meant.
ability to write YouTube videos is gonna see me.
How to survive
Far,
on a
really.
Top 7 ways.
I can't.
Flesh first, then the brain.
I can't make anything. I'm useless at DIY. All of that, rubbish. And so, eventually, one of these gangs, Dave and the Leash Boys, perhaps, would come across my house, and
Because
it'd
I
be that
direct
bit
us
where,
Yeah.
I just be that.
Where's he going, boy? Where's he going? He's got a scent.
If it was a zombie show, I'd be like that episode where they find a feral lone survivor, with just in my garden, with my rolling pin and my food that I've got from the motorway service station, and that would be my undoing because,
So how would you
So
die?
be-
Would the
I'd be
gang
killed.
kind of?
I'd be killed by the people. I'd be
Okay.
killed by the people.
So just
So-
to crystallise it, you would to begin with you'd be completely isolated, and then by
Yeah.
the time the gangs had been established,
Yes.
they'd come,
They
you'd
would-
come across each other, and
Yes.
they'd discover you had no use. So
Yeah,
they'd kill you.
exactly.
They
Or-
would just can they not just let you live? I
Well,
can speak
it
to the
depends.
guys.
It depends what kind of gang finds me. If it's one of the nice gangs, maybe
Yeah.
they try and recruit me. But I think I'd be
But would
so.
you be recruitable? As in, like,
I don't
would
think
you be
so
up
because
for
that's the problem.
joining?
I would not trust anyone. I'd
I
have
can
no.
hold a leash real well.
I would not trust anyone, and so maybe it would be a nice gang. But eventually, one of the bad gangs is going to come along, right? And when they come along, then it's game over because all they'll see is, oh, this person has a house in the middle of nowhere. That would be like, that's a nice resource. So they would just kill me and take my house as like one of their outposts.
What if the apocalypse started when you weren't near your house?
Then I would get there, Rosie.
What if you're in
Just
Spain?
get
What if you're
there.
in Spain?
I'm
You're
not
in
going to. I've never been to Spain. I would
Yeah,
love to be
that-
in Spain.
that-
What if
When you go
you're
to
in
Spain-
Scotland? What if you're in Scotland?
No, Scotland's even more remote. He'd be in a remote area. of
It'd be
Scotland.
fine. I just live in the mountains and the lochs and wander around. It's very sparsely populated, Scotland. You'd be even safer up there. That'd be the ideal place. The Highlands.
I'd like to see a zombie climb a mountain.
Yeah, I'd like to see them try. But yeah, eventually, it wouldn't be zombies that would get me. It would be other people.
And loneliness.
Yeah.
Well, I defend you, Rob. If I was in a gang, I'd be like, welcome aboard.
Okay.
Unless
Yeah,
you
see-
were like, I don't want to come on board, and then
I didn't mean to say it like that. Okay.
okay, thanks, Rosie. All right, yes.
If I was in a gang, I'd take your outpost, 100%.
Yeah, I know you would.
I'd run in with my knife. That's me wailing.
Yeah.
Or you get bitten and then just run in the house anyway, and then
Yeah.
just be like, I'm fine, hello, and just run around the house until you turn.
Yeah. Oh, David run in going.
Poor Dave's getting like slaughtered this Tuesday checklist.
I think Rob. I said that Dave would starve from locking himself in the room and deciding to never leave because it'd be too scary. I think Rob would also starve, but just because no Deliveroo drivers had come in the apocalypse.
I love the idea of on his app, like every day. Like, this is ridiculous.
No restaurants are open for miles.
What do you mean the service station doesn't deliver?
They go for the brains, Rosie, usually, though.
The flesh and the brains.
Yeah,
The
your
flesh
head.
and the brains.
Flesh first.
I could have come with a comeback, and I was like, no, it doesn't make sense in my mind. I was like, I don't have brains, but I got a butt, but I don't even have a butt, so so I was like, that comeback just wasn't working, and I said it anyway. So that's all great.
Who needs brain when you got these cheeks?
Zombies don't want brains. They want these. They want these cheeks. Anyway.
How has it come to this?
I don't know.
I don't.
I don't know how we've got here.
Alternative zombie apocalypse where they just go around.
Ah, yes, a zombie apocalypse of monsters hungry for cheek meat sounds like the most realistic version of that scenario yet. How would you succumb to a horde of zombies? What mistake would you be most likely to make? Let us know in the comments below. As always, this has been PlayStation Access. Don't forget to subscribe for more PlayStation goodness, and we'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.
PlayStation